All right. We're just in the river. Hope you can hear me with the wind. We were in the river just now. It was 10 degrees. I don't know how cold the water is, but I'm assuming close to it. Crisp and cold. Loving it. Triggering a stress response on purpose. Okay, so I'm getting some comments about, and these are people that have been doing DNRS. And I see a pattern in a lot of these questions where they say, yeah, but, if I'm asking for more and if I'm allowing things to be and if I'm exposing myself and walking towards my triggers and allowing them to be, I get triggered. Like, I don't understand. Why do I feel so horrible? Like, this isn't working. I don't understand. Why am I triggered? So what do I do about that? And I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't very clear. The point is, you want to be triggered. You want to feel like shit. Right? And people are like, why would I want to feel like shit? Because that's the only way through it. Right? You need to trigger a stress response. See, this is how it works. My method, right? You're going to feel worse at first. It's going to be worse. But in the long run, you're going to recover quicker. Other programs, methods, they want you to avoid feeling triggered. They want you to try to not get uncomfortable. They want you to self-soothe. They want you to distract. They want you to avoid your thoughts. They want you to redirect to something positive, right? And we all know that doesn't really work. It makes the alarms worse and bigger, right? So you're managing all these mental alarms. Just managing, just so you can be comfortable enough to cope. And that's why people in some of these programs get stuck and they don't improve. After 5 years, 3 to 5 years, they're still triggering on old triggers. Still, usually around a year and a half, if you're doing the right methods, because everybody takes a different amount of time to actually click the methods, to actually go, oh yeah, and then you actually have to, walk the walk, and do it hands-on. So that sometimes some people take a little longer because everybody has a different learning curve, right? And it's not easy, but usually, after a year and a half, 2 years, you see triggers going away. Poof, alarms turn off. Poof, 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 poof. Things start to improve. You start moving forward, right? Yeah, you're still triggering, but not as much. You're moving forward more and more. You see the path. You're like, oh, fuck, I just got to keep following, keep going. So you have to understand, you have to learn how to get uncomfortable. You have to learn that, yes, you're going to be triggered. The short term is going to be hard. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to be traumatized and scared and feeling fear. You're going to be walking through hell. I want you to learn that you need to walk through hell and change your response when you're walking through hell. But people, what they're doing is they're avoiding it because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. Because for some reason, feeling uncomfortable means that's the wrong answer. That's not recovery. When that is actually what keeps you stuck. So what happens, the short term, when you expose yourself, when you do exposure, right? And you go towards what triggers you, when you go towards your fears, you're shaking it up. And it feels like you're going through a war zone. And symptoms, alarms, mental alarms, physical symptoms, physical alarms will go up. It triggers a stress response. That's what we want. We want you to expose yourself to these stress responses over and over and over and over again. But when we're going over and over and over again, feeling like shit, you need to sit through the fear. When you're in a war zone, don't white knuckle. Let go. embrace, relax. Don't survive. Surrender. While you're going through the fire, while you're sitting in the fear, while you're triggered. This is the important part. We want you to go get uncomfortable, expose, invite the triggers in. Here, come here, come here. Let's get scared. Let's have fear. Let's feel like shit. I want to feel like I'm walking through a war zone over and over and over again. Because when you do that, you change the association. The brain monitors you. It has a surveillance system. It watches you. And it goes, oh, he's scared, but his response is different. He's asking for more. He's sitting through the fear. He's not freaking out. He's going towards the fears and triggers. He's purposely triggering himself. Okay, well that means that the alarm I'm sending is wrong. We don't need an alarm here. So we'll turn off the alarms. And then the brain recalibrates. You have a new program, an updated program, and the alarms turn off. The more exposure you do, your alarms go from a 10, right? Trigger, fear, anxiety, symptoms, alarms everywhere, right? And you change your response to allow it. Eventually, alarms turn off. Stress response goes down to a 7, 5, up to an 8 again, to a 5. This is with repetition, right? You're doing this like 10 times, 20 times, right? And over time, your exposure, your triggers, they go from a 10 to a 5, 3, 2, 1. Back to a 5 because your brain always checks in just in case. And then you actually don't feel anything. You feel good. As a consequence, you feel good only as a consequence of feeling like shit for so long because you normalized it in your mind and you became indifferent. You didn't care anymore. It became a routine of feeling like shit. Your trigger that you had about walking through a grocery store, the brain goes, meh, we don't really care. Because you exposed yourself to it so many times, you surrendered yourself to it, you didn't survive through going through the mall or the grocery store, right? You learned how to get uncomfortable. I think I've used this example before. Let's say you're doing an exposure, purposely triggering yourself to go through the grocery store. And you go there and you look at it and you go, okay, here I go. Here I go. I'm going to go do this exposure, right? Here I go. Now watch how I do this. You tell me what's wrong with this. All right. I got 500 meters from here to there. That's the exit. So in 5 seconds, I'm going to go do it. And then when I'm done, I'll be done. That'll be my exposure for the day. Okay, we can do this. Let's do this. All right. You go through. You're walking through. You get symptoms coming, you get triggered, you feel like shit, you're scared, and you're like, oh fuck, from here to there, okay, 50 more meters, and I'm halfway there. Oh fuck, we can do this, oh, we're halfway there, okay, we're past halfway, so that means we're closer to the exit than we are to the beginning, so just keep going, look straight ahead, focus on that exit sign. Okay, 3, here we go, 4, 2, 1, whew. Holy shit, I made it. Oh, that was horrible. That was the hardest thing I ever did. I hated that. That's hard, very hard. Oh man, this is exhausting. I hate that. But we made it. Holy shit, we're on the other side. Oh, okay, we're done. Oh, right? What are you telling your brain? You were white knuckling through that. Yes, you were feeling uncomfortable, but you're sending the wrong response. Your dialogue was saying we're surrounded by danger. Because you're surviving through. You're white knuckling. And when you do that, the brain says, okay, he's giving me information that tells me to keep that alarm on. So the brain goes, I was right to put that alarm on there. Good for me. Pat on my back. I'm doing my job. So, let's keep those alarms on. And you're like, fuck, why am I still triggered? Because you're sending the wrong responses. You're surviving through your triggers. That's why. So do you understand? We want to pull triggers up. We want them to come here so we can change them. But other programs don't want them to come there. They want to avoid them all the time. You'll never change them doing that. And that's why you have to learn to feel uncomfortable and know you're doing the methods, and just because you feel like shit doesn't mean it's not working. But people keep saying, oh my God, I'm triggered. Okay, this is what's going on. I'm feeling worse. Why? I'm not supposed to feel worse. This is obviously not working because in DNRS, I didn't feel worse. Right. You can not feel worse for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and never recover. Sure, if that works for you. Or you can feel worse, feel triggered, feel like shit, and recover within a year. A lot quicker. And live your life happy, with no limits, thriving and healthy for the rest of your life. It's your choice. Learn to feel uncomfortable. Learn to get scared and have the proper response. It's okay to have fear. Sit through it, allow it, let it run wild. Ask for more.